Hey everybody, today we are going over SQL challenge number 13. This one seems really simple, but it's actually a little more tricky than you might expect. So we want to find the average number of days before the required date that shipped orders are shipped. And we're going to round to 2 decimal places. Okay, so if we take a look in, I think it's our orders table here. Okay, and select star from orders. We get all of our orders. And we see that there is this required date, and then there's the shipped date. So the order date is the date the order was originated. Required date is the date that the product is needed, or at least that it was said that it would get to the customer. And then the ship date is, well, the ship date. So we want to see the average number of days that this ship date is before the required date. So in this case here, we're looking for order 10100. Let's go ahead and see what the answer would be. So if we say where order number equals 10100, of course we just get the one order there. And now what we can do is find out the difference there. So in SQL Server there is a neat function, it's called dateDiff. So let's write that out here. So dateDiff takes 3 different parameters. First one, it takes the measure of time. Probably a better way to say that, but we'll just say measure of time, and then value 1, and then value 2, just like that. So in measure of time, we could say like day, and then dateDiff would go and have it and measure the number of days between value 1 and value 2. And that would be the result that we would get. So let's write that out now for our particular case. So we want to see the number of days between the required date and the ship date. So to mark that, I can just say DD for day. Then we'll say required date here and shipped date here. Okay, let's run it. And we see that the difference between required date and ship date is -3 days. All right, which is good because we would hope that the items are shipping before they actually are needed or guaranteed to arrive for the customer. So now that we have that, we want to find the average number of days before the required date that shipped orders are shipped. So average for all of the orders where it is shipped. So let's switch that out now. Instead of that particular order, let's say where status equals shipped. Okay, so we've got that filter set up and we're done with that. Now what we need to do though, say we wanted to find the average just straight up. So we could put average right here around our dateDiff function. And if we ran it, or if we run it, then we would see that we get -4, which is interesting. You got to figure based on all of those orders that we're not going to get a round number like that, one without anything after the decimal place. So what's happening here when we do the average like this is that it's averaging it all out and then rounding just to the whole number. So if we want to actually get it more accurate to 2 decimal places, for example, we're going to need to convert our result here from this dateDiff function. So to convert it, we need to use the convert function. If you're not familiar with it, convert works like this. You can change data types. And so you will put your data type that you're converting to right here, and then you'll put the value right there. Okay, pretty simple. So let's write it out now, and it's going to get a little messy here just because everything's really close, but we'll say convert, and then we want it to be a decimal. Okay, and pretty common is to use it like this, so we're going to find it to 2 decimal places, and then have that there. Now, sorry, the screen's sort of small here, but we're going to need to scroll on over like this. We've got our dateDiff here, and then our average function parentheses is to the right of this. So we're going to add yet another parentheses right there. And you know what? Let's just space it out a little bit so things aren't getting quite so crazy here. Okay, so now let's run it and see what we get. Okay, interesting. So actually we are getting it like this now with multiple values after the decimal place. So in order to actually fix this so it's just 2, it's an interesting little solution here. We actually need to convert after the average again, because when we have this convert here, that is converting it to 2 decimal places. When we run this average, then it's not 2 decimal places anymore. But now when we do convert again out here, and we specify the same thing again, decimal 10 to, and then of course at the end here we add our parentheses one more time. Now when we run this, we get it rounded to 2 decimal places. So pretty interesting, right? We actually have to convert it twice to get the answer that we're looking for. So let me go ahead and be a good SQL coder here and add an alias. We'll say average shipped before, let's see what would look good here, before date. All right, so that's our alias. Now we run it and we see the average shipped before date. Whoa, if we can stay here, is negative 4.42. So the average shipped order goes out 4.42 days before it is guaranteed to arrive for the customer. Which sounds pretty good, as long as we're not shipping internationally, right? Although maybe that would be fine as well. So that's it for today. Once again, sort of trickier than you might have thought by looking at the challenge itself. And unfortunately, this screen's pretty small here. Let me see what we can do. Just want to be able to show you everything here. So here we go. I'll just put it in Notepad. We'll go old school on this one here. Whoa. Okay. So there is the full challenge right there. Let me go ahead and enter down so it's not so wacky here. From orders. Okay, so there is the full query that gets you the right answer. We went ahead and converted our date diff to get it into decimal form. We ran our average function to get the average number of days, which resulted in more than 2 places after the decimal. So then we had to convert it yet again back to decimal with just 2 places after the decimal point. All right, so that's it for today's challenge. Check out our Intro to SQL Querying course for free, and then upgrade to our awesome Ultimate SQL Querying package. You will know everything about SQL querying that you could ever want. All right, we'll see you the next time.